Diddy's house of horrors exposed by his own blood.
The FBI discovered a tunnel this morning that the rapper had made in his home, connected to the basement of a former Michael Jackson home.
There is an underground mansion.
The officers found strange items on the floor, such as children's clothing.
Actually terrifying to know that this exists.
They just uncovered tunnels underneath his house.
Diddy's?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
Girl, sit down for this one, because what just got leaked is beyond wild. Diddy's own son, Christian, just spilled the most disturbing tea you could imagine. And not just any tea, we're talking about the freaking underground tunnels under Diddy's mansion. Yes, tunnels. Freak-off parties, and guess what? Christian revealed that his father invited him to those twisted parties too. The courtroom is in shambles after actual footage surfaced showing Christian inside one of these freak-offs with his own father. The evidence just got real, and it's coming out fast and dirty. Federal agents jaw-dropping tapes, and now Diddy's empire is shaking. And honey, it gets messier. Misa Hilton, who is Christian's mom and Diddy's ex, just uploaded surveillance footage from the Homeland security raid of Diddy's $40 million 0 cents LL mansion. It wasn't just a knock on the door. Oh no. They rode up with armored tanks, guns drawn, like it was a military operation, for real. You can see it clear as day in the sped up video. One agent even turns the security camera to the ground to block the view, but not before Christian is caught with his hands in the air, pinned against the wall, and cuffed like a criminal. Justin, Diddy's other son, wasn't spared either. Hands on his head, dragged through the hallway. Then another man literally pulled across the driveway. And Misa? She went off on the feds, blasting them for using that kind of militarized force on two young black men. She said, and I quote, "If these were the sons of a non-black celebrity, they would not have been handled with the same aggression, period." But that's not even the craziest part. Rumors about tunnels connecting Diddy's mansion to the Playboy mansion have floated around for years. But now, buckle up. The FBI confirmed that Christian was caught in one of those tunnels during the 2024 raid. Entrance? Hidden under the carpet in Diddy's master bedroom. The tunnels? Built back in the 1970s, leading straight to the freak show kingdom.
The FBI found a tunnel this morning at the mansion of famous rapper Diddy in Los Angeles, Part 2. After receiving an anonymous tip from neighbors, agents rushed to the scene. During their search, they uncovered a tunnel beneath the carpet in Diddy's bedroom. Despite the family's pleas not to enter, the officers hesitated but ultimately decided to go in. The tunnel looked freshly dug, with wet dirt on the walls and trash scattered around. As they ventured deeper, the narrow space suddenly opened up to reveal 6 locked rooms. The agents couldn't access these rooms, and even more bizarrely, they found multiple intersections ahead in the tunnel. For safety, the agents called for backup and split up to investigate further. What they discovered was shocking. A tunnel connecting to the infamous Playboy mansion, along with others leading to several Hollywood celebrities' homes. As the agents delved deeper, they quickly surrounded these residences.
Guys, they found underground tunnels at Diddy's homes. This was first brought up by Shadow of Ezra, where he talked about the underground tunnels in Diddy's luxurious Los Angeles mansion. It was an underwater swimming tunnel leading to a mysterious grotto, reminiscent of an ancient and modern human use of caves. Now, this is all alleged, of course, but they say that this tunnel connects to the Playboy mansion. You guys remember that? Hugh Hefner, the guy who lived with all those women in his mansion? There's no available evidence right now. However, reports are noting that Combs mansions do have a pool with an underwater swimming tunnel. They say it's not connected to the Playboy mansion, but there is a reason why the Playboy mansion keeps coming up. 10 years ago, they were building underground tunnels to the Playboy mansion for people like Jack Nicholson for his birthday. So this way, they don't have to go through the outside, but go underground in secret to the Playboy mansion to do God knows what. You can see the sketches here of these underground tunnels being built. They were working on it, and it was supposed to connect celebrities like Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, Michael Jackson, just to name a few. As reported by People magazine, these underground tunnels to the Playboy mansion were sealed off in the 1980s. The question is, do you believe that? Stay safe and be smart.
Now let's talk timeline, sis. Diddy's homes were raided in March 2024, but he wasn't arrested until 6 months later in September. Why? Because authorities say he used those secret tunnels to escape from his Miami mansion. TMZ even confirmed that the LA house had underwater tunnels connecting the buildings. Like, what in the James Bond hell is going on?
Like the the media and everyone is trying to say, no, there's no connection. Well, have you guys even figured out if there's a connection yet? I feel like authorities are so stuck in time in the past where like they say, oh, don't look into this, don't investigate this, these claims aren't real. But then we see social media sleuths put together these stories and solve investigations. I'm not saying the authorities aren't smart people, they can figure it out, but sometimes the help from the public can lead to, you know, us actually figuring out the truth. But do the authorities want the truth? It really matters who's at the top and who they're trying to protect. Another conspiracy theory that circulated at the time of the raids was that Diddy escaped through an underground tunnel. I do believe he has an escape route planned when it comes to his Miami property because he can easily access the Bahamas through a boat. When it comes to his LA property, he might have a backup plan, which kind of explains these tunnels.
In case you're wondering where Diddy hosted these parties, specifically the parties that took place underground, I was absolutely shocked to find out that there is an underground mansion with tennis courts, indoor pools, marble everything, a literal ballroom. And this checks out because Ali Carter was talking about this underground ballroom. Like, actually, imagine being 5 floors beneath the surface. Willing to bet there's no cell service. What are you gonna do? Scream, run? Where are you gonna go? Actually terrifying to know that this exists. Like, just want to play tennis in my underground mansion. I have no words. It's crazy.
I can't imagine this being real because it seems so dystopian. Per news reports in March 2024, Diddy's properties in LA and in Miami were raided by Homeland Security. Diddy's LA mansion was located in the upscale neighborhood of Holby Hills, the same neighborhood as the Playboy mansion. However, there is no known underground tunnel connecting the two, according to this report. People reported that the Playboy mansion was rumored to have a series of underground tunnels that connected the mansion to other homes in the area. However, one staff member told the site that the tunnels were closed up in some time in 1989. And I don't know why celebrities are so scared to acknowledge these tunnels. I feel like, oh yeah, there's underground tunnels.
And here comes the gut punch. Court just played footage of Christian, yes, his son, at one of these freak-off parties inside the tunnel. And guess what? Christian is now being sued for assault, just like Daddy Dearest. The lawsuit was filed by 26-year-old stewardess Grace Omar, who claims Christian her at one of Diddy's infamous yacht parties before groping and harassing her. This was supposed to be a luxury cruise, not a nightmare.
In 2022, Christian reportedly arrived very intoxicated and then proceeded to pressure Omarki to take shots of tequila. She did. Christian allegedly tried to get her to drink more in the yacht's makeshift studio. Omarki alleges that Christian kissed her neck, kissed her face, as he groped her legs, breasts, and private areas. Omarki reportedly told Christian, quote, "Excuse me, you don't touch my legs like that. I'll move my legs where I want to. If I want to do this, then I will. You don't touch my legs like that." Omarki then says that she told Christian she couldn't stay with him unless it was approved by a supervisor, all of whom she knew would be asleep at the time, so this was a way for her to get out of the situation. She claims that Christian said, "Who can I talk to? I'm going to say I requested you right now." Omarki then says she responded with, quote, "Well, you can take your hand off my ass for the first thing." Omarki says that she tried to go back to her work, but Christian found her again, wanted her to find him a place to sleep for the night. So she ended up taking him to the cinema room for the yacht, which doubled as a place for people to sleep. And she claims that is when Christian blocked her and groped her, took off his clothes, tried to force her to perform oral on him. She says that she was able to fight him off until someone came in.
It gets darker, so dark it's hard to even say. Diddy didn't stop with Christian. He allegedly groomed his adopted son, Quincy, too. Quincy, yes, the sweet boy we thought was just part of the family, but to a monster like Diddy, family means nothing. Freddie P., one of Diddy's former artists, revealed he saw the twisted behavior with his own eyes. He claimed Diddy had been grooming Quincy since he was a child. Can you imagine? This wasn't some random accusation. It was an open secret in the industry, and no one said a word. Until now.
To know, like, why were you so infatuated with a child that wasn't yours? Were you grooming that little boy? I don't even want to start those conversations because that's not your child. You know what I'm saying? And for you to keep him that close, it's like you kept him that close because he might got your secrets because he's not your child. So if he's not your child and you that type of person with that type of character, you don't mind actually doing it to him when he finally reaches a certain age because he's not yours. And you know in your mind he not yours. And now you keep him real close to you. You make sure he don't go to his daddy. Why? You make sure he's separated with him and you provide him with everything he wants. Why? You got one of them little Michael Jackson secrets. He got one of them secrets that he can't tell nobody because his legacy, I mean, his manhood gonna be, and not only that, his brother no gonna look at him crazy. Only Puffy know, only God and Puffy.
You talking about Quincy, right?
I don't know. All I'm gonna say is, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be short, son.
All I'm gonna say is, who's infatuated with another man's son that, like that? Like you, that seemed like grooming to me. I got, oh, that's his daughter's brothers. Get the fuck out of here, huh?
And just when you think it can't get more disgusting, reports emerge that Diddy had inappropriate feelings toward his own mother. Yes, his mother. People around him say he used to talk about how sexy she was. And in one clip from 2022, Diddy is seen smoking a joint with her, saying there should be a strip club with her twerking in the middle before kissing her on the lips. You don't need a psychology degree to see how sick that is. Just look at the way he stares at her. It's not normal. It's not okay.
Yeah, my mom's gorgeous. Hold on, let me introduce you to my mom, called Mom Dukes.
Hi.
She's getting a drip with me. She's hydrating. What's up, Mom?
Everything's good, baby. I'm here with you.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too.
My baby.
Mom, freshly dipped though. I was just trying to show her shoes. Yeah, my mom's a single. Mom's a single. I ain't gonna hate on my mom's. She's single. Me and my mom talked about one time doing a dating show with her. And she's so picky. She's so picky, they don't stand. But yeah, that'd be the funniest show in the world.
It will be, especially with me.
I don't even want to get started if she was doing that. We're not doing that, cause yeah, my mom's single. Yeah, for real. Mom Duke know how to have a good time. She ain't sitting in the house playing. They outside moving and shaking, baby. She come with me to strip club. I don't care. For real. It's my dog. You know, I want to live life. We out here moving and grooving. So my mom told me, she just said, keep moving, baby.
That's right.
Keep moving.
Don't stop.
She could touch the floor with her palms. You know? Flat. Oh! Take pew, pew, pew.
According to, and let's not forget Justin, his other son. Court documents say Justin was the one helping organize these freak-offs. Photos place him at the scene. He's even accused of recruiting women who had previously worked for Diddy. It's like a family-run operation of horror. It was Justin who first warned Diddy that Cassie was planning to release a video of Diddy assaulting her. And next, the whole thing exploded outside Diddy's Chalice Studios in 2022. Lil Rod, another artist in the mix, claims that's when gunshots rang out. He found their friend G bleeding out on the bathroom floor. G was shot in the hip and leg, and Lil Rod was begging people to call an ambulance, but guess what Diddy and Justin did? They vanished. They ran off to another part of the studio while G was bleeding, and when police showed up, Diddy told everyone to lie, said it was a drive-by, ordered Mr. Jones to say G got shot outside, manipulated everyone. Again, now Grace Omar, the same woman suing Christian, says her assault on the yacht in December 2022 was facilitated by Diddy himself. Christian didn't act alone, according to her.
Here is the other thing with Mr. Burgess. He apparently says he owns the rights to a book that was reportedly based on the alleged memoir of Kim Porter. In fact, according to TMZ, Burgess' phone was seized by the feds, and on it was a copy of a flash drive with material that was used in this book. Here's the problem. Christian and Quincy Combs, these are the sons of Diddy and Kim Porter, Quincy's actually adopted by Diddy, But they are reportedly fighting back, and they have sent Burgess a cease and desist letter to prevent the further sale of this book. They argue this is just an attempt to capitalize on Porter's fame and that they own the rights to her IP, her intellectual property, like her diary entries, her potential manuscript. As her heirs, they own it. And they also want an accounting of current sales of the book. To be clear, though, they aren't acknowledging that there is, in fact, a long-lost memoir from their mother. In fact, they've actually denied that before when there was a similar book, a derivative work, we'll talk about that, published by this guy named Chris Todd on Amazon. They were adamantly fighting against that. They said that their mother wouldn't write this. But what they're basically saying is if something should exist, they own it.
Mia, Diddy's former assistant, also came forward, and what she shared in court left jaws on the floor. She described Diddy's mansion as a dark, twisted fortress built on fear and manipulation. According to Mia, Diddy kept everyone under tight control. You either played by his rules or you were gone. The psychological pressure, the coercion, it was all a method of domination.
Her was treacherous. She knew everything. She knew all about the drugs, the money, the Cassie, D-Rock involvement, and what he used to do. But the thing that was so crazy about it is that she said that Puff used to rip her repeatedly, damn near anytime he wanted to, all the time. Like several times she was by him. It seemed like she had the jury crying. She was by Puff, bruh. Now, what I know that in some states, they do just like they do murder. In New York City, because in the States, you gotta realize the time that you could be charged with rape in most states is from 3 to 30 years. But there are 13 states that do the case just like it's murder. That there's no time limit on when you say or you come out and say somebody raped you. You understand what I'm saying? And New York State is one of them. So I was wondering, did she ever get raped in New York? Because if she did by Puff, the state could bring up that charges against them.
And honey, the drama in court, unbelievable. Just yesterday, the judge literally threatened to throw Diddy out for trying to communicate with jurors. You heard that right. The man tried to sway the jury mid-trial. And now whispers are swirling that one of the jurors is already compromised.
News. This is involving the Sean Combs trial. Senior national correspondent Laura Ingle is standing by with legal analyst Misty Maris. And Laura, you are learning Combs could potentially be removed from his trial and not allowed in the courtroom. What can you tell us?
That's right, Nicole. This has just happened in the last few minutes, and this would be a huge development if he is removed for the rest of the trial. And what has happened here, as we are going through the cross-examination of one of Cassie Ventura's friends, who we've been telling you about, Brianna, who has been on the stand, Sean Combs has been, according to the judge, vigorously nodding during some of this cross, engaging with jurors, or at least appearing that he's trying to, looking at jurors. That is not allowed. And as you mentioned, legal analyst Misty Maris is here. I'm just going to scoot her in. This is breaking news, so we're just bringing her right in because we're here at the courthouse together. You just came over to tell me what the judge said. Explain to us what this means.
Yeah, so this was huge because what the judge admonished the defense team saying that Combs had been engaging with the jury, meaning that he's making direct eye contact with the jury and having a reaction, nodding his head. The judge said this is jury interference. It's to influence the jury, and actually referenced that the defense was warned not only today during Bongolin's testimony, but also had been warned previously during the testimony of George Kaplan. So this feeds into a federal rule which relates to disruptive conduct by the defendant in the courtroom. And the rule says that if somebody is warned by the judge, if the defendant is warned, but the conduct continues, one of the consequences could be removal from the courtroom for the remainder of the trial. And Laura, that is of huge consequence to the defense.
Yeah, and all along we've been seeing Sean Combs, passing notes, and that's allowed with his defense. He's been very active. He's been paying attention, and we have heard of him nodding along during some of the testimony, but this is something different.
Correct. So engagement with your attorneys, passing notes during testimony, even being a bit reactive to witness testimony, looking at the witness and perhaps having a reaction and looking engaged, all fine. It's when it comes down to engagement with jurors and something that could tend to influence them in some way. And what the court looks at is their influence or intimidation. Is that what the defendant is doing, and could it have that impact? So here the judge was taking a very strong stance. And keep in mind, from the defense perspective, that would be the most severe consequence, removal from the courtroom, because every defendant has the right to face their accusers.
Juror number 6 caught lying about his identity and background. Surprise, surprise, because if Diddy can't erase the evidence, maybe, just maybe, he can buy off the jury. And people believe that exactly what's happening. Money talks, right? He knows the walls are closing in, so he's trying to cheat his way out.
Diddy Juror 6 gave multiple inconsistent statements. The judge was going over his issues with Juror number 6, and although he did not make a final determination, his thoughts on Juror number 6 being removed were pretty clear. He stated that in the initial process, Juror number 6 said that he lived in the Bronx with his fiance and his daughter. Then he turned around a while later and said that he moved to New Jersey with his girlfriend, and also said that his daughter lived in New Jersey. But then it changed again and said that his daughter lived in the Bronx with his aunt. And he referenced that this was only a couple of the inconsistent statements, that there were more. The judge then stated that he wants this juror off the jury because there is no reason why this man would have to lie, and the only reason he would lie is to be a part of the Diddy trial, which made him worry that this juror might have a malicious intent or an agenda. But then after the judge said that we need to strike this juror off of the jury, Diddy's team started bringing up more arguments about this. Diddy's lawyer said that this juror is important because they need diversity, and he is only one of 4 black men that sit on the jury. He also said that he doesn't believe that these inconsistencies were that big of a deal where this juror would have to be removed. Diddy's team was arguing that this is something that should have been brought up weeks ago, and nobody brought this up, and the government is saying, listen, I didn't even know about this back then. And then Diddy's lawyer said something really weird. They said, just bring this juror in, just question him. I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure he'll be able to explain. But this is what the government wanted the judge to do earlier, and Diddy's lawyer said, no, that would be harassing the juror. Then the judge told everybody to get out of the courtroom, that they needed to have a sealed talk.
The defense has already asked for 2 mistrials. Now they're going for a 3rd. And the reason? That shady juror. If they can argue that the jury was tampered with, then boom, mistrial. And Diddy walks just like that. It's a dirty strategy. But it might just work. The fall of Diddy, a legacy of secrets, lies, and silence.
Sean Diddy Combs' team is once again asking a judge to declare a mistrial in his sex trafficking and racketeering case. Defense attorneys claim prosecutors presented false evidence alleging Combs dangled a woman from a balcony in Los Angeles in 2016, saying that they can prove he was in New York City at the time. Let's bring in ABC News legal contributor Bernarda Villalona to break this all down. Thanks so much for being with us. Diddy's team claims that the woman committed perjury on the witness stand, and that's why they were asking for a mistrial. What do you make of this move?
Yeah, so I was in the courtroom when this witness was testifying, and when the defense attorney, Ms. Westmoreland, confronted this witness with the travel arrangements where Sean Combs was in a different state when she alleged that she was dangled over this balcony. So in terms of what the defense is trying to do, they're trying to prevent a miscarriage of justice. They are asking the judge to step in and not to wait and see what a jury would do, because now they've shown a pattern of prosecutorial misconduct by this prosecutor. Number one, with the insinuation that Sean Combs has something to do with paying off LAPD to get rid of evidence, and now with condoning this perjured testimony. So yes, they're asking for the judge to step in now and make a decision, and not to wait to see what a jury would do. Also to remember that they're doing this now because they are doing two things. They're also trying the case in front of a jury, but if there is a conviction, they want to make sure that they have brought this issue up before this judge, so that way an appellate court can review this decision.
Okay, thank you for explaining that context there. And prosecutors, they are expected to respond to the mistrial request before court resumes tomorrow. What do you anticipate will happen?
So on this specific issue, I think the judge is going to deny the defense's request for a mistrial. The reason being because they're dealing with something having to deal with the credibility of a witness. The jury is the finder of fact. They are the ones that determine the credibility of witnesses. So that being the case, the judge is going to say that it's up to the jury to determine the witness's credibility, that being of Cassie Ventura, and also of this witness that supposedly gave perjured testimony. So they're going to leave it. The judge is going to let the jury to decide and going to deny the defense's request.
Girl, if you thought that was the worst of it, just wait. Because when it comes to Diddy, even hard evidence has a way of magically disappearing. No joke. Let's talk about the Kid Cudi situation. You remember when his car literally exploded in a suspicious fire? Well, investigators actually found fingerprints at the crime scene. Actual evidence, y'all. The prints were sent to the lab to be processed. But get this, they were mysteriously destroyed before they could be matched to anyone. How does that even happen? You mean to tell me that a multi-million-dollar investigation just lost fingerprints in a case tied to a celebrity feud? It's giving cover-up, it's giving corruption, it's giving someone made a few calls and buried the truth.
Court has adjourned today in the sex trafficking and racketeering trial of Sean Diddy Combs. Today, the defense requested a mistrial following testimony from an LA arson investigator, but the judge denied the request. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
A mistrial request denied in the federal criminal trial of Sean Diddy Combs. His defense team accusing the government of prosecutorial misconduct during the testimony of a Los Angeles arson investigator who spoke about fingerprints that were lifted from the front door of rapper Kid Cudi's home as part of an investigation into a break-in there in 2011. The investigator testifying that those fingerprints were destroyed, and when prosecutors asked the investigator if that was unusual, the defense accused them of trying to plant the idea that Combs was responsible.
The overall implication, according to the defense, is that somehow Sean Combs created that disappearance. The defense moved for a mistrial, and they moved for it because what they said is it's unduly prejudiced, because this is the whole theory of what the prosecution is putting forth, is that he has this control and can make these investigations disappear.
Instead, the judge striking that part of the testimony, telling jurors to disregard it. Right before, the jury heard from a police officer who responded to that break-in, testifying that he saw a black Escalade leaving the scene with plates registered to Combs' company Bad Boy Productions. The arson investigator also testifying about another incident at Kid Cudi's home in 2012 when his Porsche was set on fire. He testified about the smoke and fire damage in these photos that were shown to the jury, and said he determined the fire was targeted and started with a Molotov cocktail. Kid Cudi last week testified he believed Combs was responsible for both incidents after finding out he was dating Cassie Ventura.
But now, for the first time in forever, real evidence is being laid bare. Court just released photographs from the day of Diddy's arrest, and what they found in that hotel room? Chilly, it was a freak show in a bag. We're talking bags of bottles of baby oil. Like, why so much oil? And guns just lying around like party favors. That's not a party, that's a crime scene. And it paints the real picture of what Diddy's life behind closed doors looked like. No more hiding behind fame. The man's world is crumbling, and every dirty little secret is out in the open.
Also tonight, our first look inside Combs' Miami mansion, the day federal agents busted the gate open last year to raid it. A federal agent testifying about the evidence, guns and ammo seized from Diddy's home that were found near alleged freak-off supplies, which included dozens of bottles of baby oil and boxes of platform heels, bondage restraints, and bundles of rope. Also photographed as evidence that day, motivational messages on Combs's bathroom mirror that included "You a legend" and "Upward motion," and drugs. Lots of drugs, including ones found in plastic bags inside a Gucci bag and orange tablets with the Tesla logo that tested positive for LSD.
So let's be real. If Diddy walks free, it won't be because he's innocent. It'll be because he bought his way out. He didn't outsmart the system, he outpaid it. But guess what? The truth is out now, loud and clear. And no matter how deep those tunnels go, no matter how expensive his lawyers are, there's no crawling back into the shadow. Not this time. Because this trial isn't just about Diddy anymore. It's about an entire industry that stood by him, shielded him, protected him, and let him get away with everything for decades. It's about the celebrities who turned a blind eye, the staffers who stayed silent out of fear, and the insiders who helped cover it all up. And now, that whole machine is finally being dragged into the daylight. So, what now? We're left with a haunting question. Is justice even possible when the system is for sale? Because let's face it, Diddy's not the only one on trial here. It's every powerful person who looked the other way, every exec who cut the checks, every insider who whispered, "That's just how the game works." Well, the game is over. So what do you think? Did the courtroom finally hear the truth? Or will Diddy dance away again like he always has? Hit that like button, subscribe for the next episode of this madness, because this is only the beginning. The empire may fall, but the truth always finds a way out.